Hi, and welcome to Razz Reviews. Today, I'm going to be reviewing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a Marvel series on Disney+, and it takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame, where we find Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes trying to move on with their lives after the big blip snap thing. They call it a blip now. The two of them come together to fight off a terrorist organization of some sort, and they kind of have this buddy romance, bromance type of thing. Overall, I really enjoyed this show. I'm enjoying these Marvel series. They're a lot of fun. The quality of them specifically is quite surprising. They look really good. They feel like movies. Obviously, a lot of money went into them. And I'm enjoying this deeper look at these characters and exploring sort of their inner conflicts and issues and traumas. It's the same thing with WandaVision. I really liked how we explored those characters, and the same thing here. From this point onwards, I'm going to talk a little bit about some spoilers. If you haven't seen the show, this is your official spoiler warning. The action is fantastic, especially in the first episode. The opening sequence of the first episode is actually amazing. The cool thing about this show is that it feels a lot like Captain America Winter Soldier. It has this like spy espionage type of feel, and it works really well. Not as good, but still good enough, and I enjoyed that aspect of it a lot. I like the fact that we were watching Bucky, especially early on in the show, try to resolve his issues when it comes to his history as the Winter Soldier, the crimes he committed, and how he's trying to settle all his nightmares and inner demons. I thought that was interesting because the character of Bucky is a very interesting one. He's a broken man, and it's nice to see him start to heal and mend, or at least try to. Sam faces important issues, economically speaking, and it shines a light on what happened to people who came back from the blip. The show does a lot of social commentary. It talks about racism in America, and it addresses it in very interesting ways. The systematic abuse of the poor. So a lot of important issues that the show tackles, which I find very interesting because Marvel movies don't usually tackle this stuff very often. But here, because of the nature of the TV show and the series, they actually get a chance to do so, and it's pretty interesting to watch. And sometimes it felt very organic and very earnest. Sometimes it was a little on the nose and kind of beating you on the head with it, especially in his speech to the senators that took place in the street. That kind of felt very staged, like they're just gonna stand there and talk about a big vote on like an international scale, and they're just gonna have a conversation. He's just gonna give him a speech, and the cameras are gonna shoot it, and everybody in the world is gonna sit there and watch it. Like, I'm not looking for ultimate realism in my Marvel movies or shows, but come on. The pacing of the show is a little off. Some episodes were better than others, so it was a little uneven sometimes. And I definitely feel that the third act of the show was a little bit rushed. I don't think it should have been 8 episodes. It definitely should have been 10 episodes. And I also wish we dedicated more time to the Winter Soldier. So overall, I thought it was an interesting show. It was fun and entertaining, but it could have been better, but it could have been stronger. I gotta talk about Baron Zemo and his magnificent return. I really loved him in this show. He was actually one of my favorite things about this show. I enjoyed his scenes, and I definitely enjoyed his nightclub dance. It was pretty awesome. And I like that they brought him back and that now he's part of the cinematic universe again, because I thought that he was a little underused in Civil War. I also love the dynamic with the Dora Milaje. Every time the Dora Milaje show up, it's awesome. And I like that they explored what happened to Bucky when he was in Wakanda. I also like how Wakanda is kind of like this resource for cool gear now, especially after the events of Black Panther, to see how the Wakandas are contributing to the world with their high cool tech. It's kind of like in World of Warcraft when you go to Mechagon just to increase your gear and stats, so it's pretty cool.
Build it, test it, deploy it.
John Walker is an interesting addition as US agent. Well, I mean, later he's US agent. He's mostly fake Captain America in this, or fact in America. This guy was so annoying, but I think that was the point. That character was really the kind you love to hate. My God. Just wanted to punch him the whole time. But it's cool to see that he has survived and that he's probably going to become sort of a villain. Towards the end of the final episode, it felt like it wasn't clear if he's going to be a villain or not. They sort of like they were backtracking, like he was being redeemed and he wasn't. I don't know what that was about, but I definitely am more interested in him than a villain than anything else. You can't redeem that guy. He's kind of crazy. And this is another thing that I felt the show didn't do well, where there's a lot of things that happened where you don't feel there's enough consequences of it. I mean, this guy brutally murdered somebody with a shield. Like, he kind of like smashed his head while people were filming that on camera. He just got, you know, like a court-martial and that's it. But like later on, he's just walking down the streets just fine. Like, he'd be in jail, guys. This is not okay.
That they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing.
The other thing that didn't really work for me was what are they called? The flag bashers? We should have spent more time with them. They really told us everything that they were upset about, but they didn't show us. It's a classic case of show, don't tell. I mean, they mentioned this amazing figure, Mama Donia, that I thought was very intriguing. Why didn't we see this woman before she passed? They should have established this prophet-like character, and just cause that she's fighting for, to see the people who admired her so much kind of break after they lose her and become sort of the villains we're supposed to sympathize with. We don't see any of that. They just tell us. They tell us we have a cause, we have the rights, we have, and Sam Wilson defends them, and they have a point, and they have... Okay, but you're just telling me these things. I never felt it, so I wasn't really invested in them or their storyline. A lot of the times I didn't even know what their plan was supposed to be. I also didn't like that the Winter Soldier kind of got nerfed. I mean, this guy was going hand to hand with Captain America. He's a badass, and here he kind of got his ass kicked. Okay, when the Dora Milaje come and they unlock his arm, cool. It's a Dora Milaje and they gave him that arm. It makes sense that they can pacify him. But he should have been destroying everybody else. I know that they're making him sort of hold back and not try to kill anybody, but you don't want to nerf him so much that he stops being a badass, which is what kind of happened. And it also sucked that they milked the whole super soldiers. Now everybody's super soldier. You get a super soldier system. You get a super soldier system. Everybody gets a super soldier system. I also don't feel like the wrap up of Bucky Barnes' story got enough screen time. It felt very rushed. At the moment where he confronts or admits what he did to the son of the Japanese man was a scene that I was so devastated when it was cut out. Continue, let us see the aftermath. I wanted to see that conversation because it could have been a wonderful one, but it wasn't. Everything that has to do with Sam Wilson, I liked. I think they did a really good job at setting him up as the new Captain America. I like that he didn't just pick up the shield and become Captain America and everything was fine. I like that it took a journey. I like that in the beginning he sort of gave it up and then had to really want it and go after it and believe that he has earned it and to make up his mind about where he belongs in the universe and how this shield and everything it represents can belong to him. I thought that was done really well. His new suit is awesome. Another really cool aspect of the Sam Wilson story in the show is Isaiah Bradley. I'm so glad they included this character and they brought him in and made his story so relevant and so timely to the social issues of racism in America right now. I thought it was powerful, and I liked the fact that the two of them had very opposing view, and in the end they kind of managed to not agree but understand each other very well. I thought it was very powerful, and I loved the fact that he gave him his place in the Smithsonian. That was a goosebump moment. The performance of that actor was also incredible. Anthony Mackie even did a good job in his scenes with him. So overall, this whole thing worked. So in the end, I really enjoyed watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's a cool addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It sets up a lot of cool things moving forward, and it also added a lot of exploration of characters that we know and love. And I can't wait to see what's gonna happen and how this is gonna lead into new things in the MCU. So if you're an MCU fan, this is definitely a show worth checking out and watching. Enjoyable action sequences, cool fun stuff, return of old characters, setup for new characters. It's not perfect. It's a little uneven, but it has a lot of cool moments for you to enjoy. I enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give The Falcon and the Winter Soldier a 7.5 out of 10. So, have you seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Or, as revealed in the ending, Captain America and the Winter Soldier? Let me know in the comment section, what did you think of the show? Did you like it? And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to ask me what you'd like me to review for your next. See ya!